We're now going to have a look at how to create some roofs for our design here. So we've done our walls, doors, and windows, and just covered a few options here for ceilings. We want to start using the roof tool. So up here again, it's the ribbon tab for build, and we're going to do this one in 3D. First of all, when you click it, it's going to ask you what level do you want it to be on. So I could actually assign this one to the ceiling level. I'll do a couple of things here just to repeat the commands. I'll do it on the ceiling level, and by default it's asking to do it to the walls. I could have some overhangs here. I'll leave them off at the moment. I just want to do the basics. I want to grab that wall, again use the tab to grab them all on the outside. And that has now created the roof. It's giving me a angle of 22.5 degrees. I'll just hit return to close it off. Here's our roof. Now to me that's pretty ugly. I want to do something a bit more interesting. So I'm going to make a bit of an adjustment here. I'm going to delete that out. That's just for anybody who wants to just get started. We're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to go to my ground floor plan here. And here you can see there's some markers. There's a section marker. There's some elevation markers. I'm going to go to the section marker and hit right click and then go to view. And I can see here in my section some information about the ceilings and the walls and the doors and stuff that I've created. I want to create another one of these levels for my roof. So what I can do with that is in this ribbon tab I can go and create a level. LL was the shortcut key, or I can go again and select this and go right click and go create similar, and I can start drawing a level for this particular roof. Now I want this to maybe be 200 mil off the ceiling height, and I'm just going to bring it here and align it. We'll clean this up in a second. And I want this to be broken here. There's a little break. I'm just going to grab that point and drag it up. And I'm going to rename it. Now I'm just going to click on that box twice and go roof. Now I have a roof level. And for my ceiling level, you can see here, the ceiling is actually set down at 200 mil off the ceiling level. I could change that ceiling level maybe down to 2.5. You'll see the ceilings have actually moved with it. What I could do here though is I could grab all the instances of those ceilings and now set them to 0, and they'll be moving with that particular ceiling height. So there's a number of things we can start to do to manipulate things. I will maybe crank that back up to 2650, and we'll leave the roof at 3. A lot of this will be cleaned up a little bit later, and you can start to grab these little points and just clean it up as needed. If you don't like that sort of as a graphic, if you're very particular on your drafting, you could maybe bring these down, pull this one out, unconnect it. That's just the little padlock to unconnect it, maybe bring it out to here or something like that. It all comes down to your preference. Other things as well, like when you're doing a section, it might not be 1 to 100, it could be 1 to 200, 1 to 50. When I go and select that here, I can make it 1 to 50, and that text will be a bit more aligned, a bit more easy to work with. Okay, so back to our 3D view. You can see it's created that roof level, and we want to start creating some roofs a bit more interesting in this design. So I'll do it, just close out some other views here in the tab. I'm going to do it in both the, just going to close out the ground floor. I'm going to have a 3D view, and I want the new roof view that's been created, that will be in the project browser, fired up here, and I want to be working on it at the same time. So what I can do, now that roof view, I want it to be looking down, it's not displaying everything below it at the moment. In a previous tutorial I briefly covered view range. This one I want it to be looking down on the object. It's got a cut plane. I want the level below to actually be the ground floor This one can be a bit fiddly to get your head around. It's just the view depth. If you want to do more on that, it will just show up here. There's a little key sample view range here. And now I can see the floors below sort of dashed out. So I'm in my roof view. I want to look at these at the same time. So you can actually bring this out, and you could bring it onto another screen. If you've got two monitors, we can dock back in here as well. I want these to be viewing at the same time. So here in your view tool, you can go to Windows and then Tile Views, and that will now give me them side by side. So that's kind of handy if you want to see the roof sort of coming up all together. So with this roof view, I want to go back again to the roof, and I'm going to do roof by footprint. There are other ways to do this as well, numerous other ways. I'm going to go and create a roof here for this particular region. So I'm going to go from this point down to here. I'll just be basic about it. I want to maybe align it on the outside here, so I can just go and grab that temporary line and have it here. Now, if I just finish that command, it's going to give me the standard truss roof. I want this to be a little bit different. I want it to be going in one direction. So I'm going to go to Edit Footprint, and what I want is I just want a single pitched roof. So instead of having this being 22.5, I don't want this to be defining the roof slope. So I'm going to grab this one, and this one, these lines, by just holding down my Control key, and turn off defining the roof slope, and then just hit return. Hit finish edit mode, and now we have our roof pointing in that one direction. And I don't want it to be as steep as 22 degrees. I'm going to just drop it down to maybe 10 degrees. And here we have our roof ready to go. Now you could again just mirror this as well. I want it to be the same on the other side, so I'm just going to use that mirror command, mirror it across, and here we have kind of a semi-butterfly roof here. And then for these other roofs here, I want to do some as flat roofs and some as a pitched roof. So I'm just going to repeat what I did before. So roof command, and this one by default is just showing up as a corrugated roof. We can come back and change all these later. So here I'm just going to use the draw tool to do a pitched roof, and I want it to maybe align with that wall there, and put this wall out here. Now we have where I want that roof to be covering, but for this one, I'm just going to grab those and tell them not to define the slope. I want this one to define the slope. Turn that on, and if I just finish that at 22.5, you can see it's going up quite high. I'm just going to drop that back down to 10 as well. Okay, so here are my three roofs, and the rest of them, I want them to actually be a flat roof. So I will again be doing this in plan, hitting the roof button, and I can either select walls or I can just draw lines. I'm just going to draw some of the lines here, and hopefully pretty quickly get this all closed out. Again, if it's not accurate, I can double check stuff as I go. I can align stuff to the walls, or I can just escape out of that, or I can just go in here and see that one's not aligned. Just bring that in, snap it in, and here that one's a bit rough as well, so I'm going to align it. So I can align it to that, do that, do that, and this one wasn't very well drawn as well, so I'm going to align that and lock it in. And then just to speed it up, just grab those walls there, mirror. That's all good. And this one I want it to be a flat roof. Lock that one in. I want it to be a flat roof. So all of them selected here. They're not going to have any slope to them. And then the style, I don't want it to be corrugated iron because that probably wouldn't work with a flat roof. I'll do a warm roof, and it might be timber construction. And then hit return. And now we have our roof available with our flat roof. Now it is sitting at the roof level. I could change it at the moment. This is quite a thick roof. When you look at the structure of it, there's quite a lot going on. What I can do here, maybe to manually make a few adjustments, and I'll just dock that over so it's dock that in so it's tabbed now. What I can do here to sort of tidy everything up, I could either move things around by just adjusting the offset. So that might be negative 300, for example, also somewhere around there. And then I might want these walls to come up a bit higher, so I can tab and grab those external walls. At the moment it's going to the ceiling. I could say, well, look, I want it to actually go to the roof. And we can start to see them sort of coming up to the right location. Now this one, you can see I haven't located exactly right because there'll be a parapet and everything. So I'm going to edit the footprint, and I want to align these walls to the inside face of those new parapet walls. So I'm going to align it. So I'm just aligning to the inside face, locking it, aligning that one to the inside face, locking it. And I lock it because as it gets developed, if the walls need to move, those roof components will move with the walls. So I'm just aligning to that inside face, removing the constraints because I've already had some constraints from before. Do it again. Align to the inside face of the wall. Okay, and then finish that. And that should be a little bit more cleaner. Now, if you want to manually adjust this wall as well, we can go to our default section view, which is just located here in the project browser. And at the moment, let me just go to my roof view here. The section marker is going through those butterfly roofs, so I'm just going to bring it down to here just to sort of see how it looks. So I'll just move that section, it updates instantly. Here's my roof at the moment. I just dropped it down 300. I want to be a bit more accurate here. I want to bring it down and snap it to here. And the actual depth of that roof with all its components is 338. And again, I can go and move these walls as needed to create parapet. So I could tab, I could do it in 3D. I could actually just drag this up if I need to create a parapet, and then flash it and put a cap on everything. Or I can start to look at the offset. So that could be 300, for example. So have a go at doing that. You can start to use all the same principles that I've shown in the earlier tutorials to create your walls and your roofs, your parapets. You can also start to use tools like match properties. So I can go MA, just like in AutoCAD, I can match there to there and bring that parapet up. And there's still a few cleanups here, so I'll come back to tidying up a bit of that later. But here we have the basics of our house with our pitched roofs and our flat roofs, and then walls and reference planes and stuff aligning to correct them.